These are those very strange shapes that I filmed on the moon. So in this picture here, you'll just see the two huge sort of rods or things are floating out of the crater, and you'll see them come up right through, that they go all the way up. So these are the sort of things I'm talking about, are popping up, and they shouldn't be seen from Earth, obviously, and filmed. See what I mean? They're coming right out of the crater holes there, and those big round spheres are popping up as well on the surface. There's that one, which was the pink one I was telling you about. There it is there. It's just parked there. There's a huge object there as well. And I'll just freeze it on those ones which are enlarged, those huge objects. That's a good picture there. There's that object. It was huge. It was just parked there. I don't know what they are. That's a perfect example. You just see it right there. It's just 3 or 4 spheres and a big purple line right through it. Now, if I somehow, I can't enlarge on this, so just let me change. So this is when I first saw it around 5 o'clock, and on that picture, see that big, huge light blue object coming from behind it, sort of trying to get into that big hole, or coming out of it. I think it's trying to get into it. It's very strange. So they're those bizarre. These are the amateur shots from that South Pole. There's a huge sphere. There's like square excavations and a huge round hole. And you'll see those objects floating around. They're very big processes on the South Pole. So it just seems to add up that there's 2 big spheres there and rods coming out of them. And it seems as though that's a hole or a tunnel rather than a crater. And there's a huge sphere parked there. There's a big object, looks like whatever. There's round ones there. They're the sort of things I'm getting from other individual amateur filmers as well. Now, it seems to correlate that these are not human. They're not unnatural either. I think it's an alien system on the moon that comes out of these big tunnels and hides under the surface. And that correlates with the things I filmed. There we go. So yeah, it's bizarre, isn't it? You've got all these things on the surface, and so this is that zoom of that big light blue object coming near that hole on the moon. There it is. That's a very good one. It seems to come around from the other entrance and try to go inside that hole or crater. And there just seems like all this activity that was starting up. So that's why I sort of kept looking at it, and all of a sudden these things popped out of those tunnels, and it was, what's going on sort of look to it. There's that object there, huge pink object. It's a hard one to catch. Okay. Sorry, we just lost connection there for a while. I don't want to pause it and start it again. See those big pink objects there, and they're just hidden. It's very hard to zoom in on them. Huge pink ball that goes there. In the picture before I caught it, was a bit less glare. So that's why I kept filming it, hoping to catch these things. Look at that. That just comes right out of the holes there. That huge sphere, that's probably 10 kilometers high. So to see that on the moon and have all this activity happening here around Sydney was unusual. Look at that. And that's coming right out of the moon. There's that pink object. Look at it. Huge and round, and it's just parked there, or it's 3 or 4 joined close together. It's very hard to tell. There it is right there. That's huge. It's humongous. There's a darker red area, a spot on it. Are they just parked on the moon? Have they come from the actual craters or holes? See, that's unusual. One was pink, one was blue, and they just seem to be coming from the 2 craters and are dancing around as though they are blossoming. So is this by accident, or is it some sort of activity from? That's a good picture. It was just, there it is on the moon. It's huge. I can't zoom in anymore. It's just parked right on there. Sorry for the pictures. That's the best I could do with the camera that I've got. So I was hoping other people would film this. Obviously, I haven't. This is interesting. This was parked on there as well. Now look at that. Look at that area. Sort of. Are these the objects that are floating to Earth? Are they? That UFO seemed to appear after the moon went down. Did it come from these objects? How are they related? There's something definite there as well, because it seemed to be coming up and you got that bright glow to it, which wouldn't be happening in a unnatural object. So to me, it was more like they're actually UFOs parked on the moon or coming out of the holes or tunnels. Do you now understand? That's a good one. Look at that. Look at that. They're huge. That's about 10 kilometers. It's darker down the bottom, so it could be coming out of the hole or the crater, and it comes up and it just has that beautiful pink luminous glow to it, which doesn't look like it's unnatural. Now these things are still up there, the two coming up. Is this what we're seeing flying out of the moon? Is this what's really happening? See what I mean? Look at it. Look at that. It seems to be coming out and puffing up out of that hole or crater. Now that correlates to what I saw in some other images as well. Very good. There's that thing that was coming all the way up as well. Now the reason I'm showing you this with the UFO, I think these instances are related. I don't know how. There's that huge object again, which I'm trying to get into, those huge pink spheres, orange spheres. And they're the type of orange orbs which are coming around the world as well. That's as close as I can get. There's some object sticking up. Look at that. It's huge round. It's parked there. What's it doing there? Look at it. That's a good one. You see the big round thing, which I realize now is probably coming from the opening down the bottom. Same as those two things floating up. Okay, I'll probably pause it. This is going to go too long if I keep on playing for the images. There it is again. Again, that big round sphere. Those two objects coming out of that's a good color or contrast enhanced one. The two craters, and these things just pop up. Let's go through it quicker. I'll quickly pause it if I see something interesting. That's interesting. That's using the Sony. That big round sphere, the things from the back, and the two openings there with objects like snakes are floating around out of them. Well, that shouldn't be happening on a normal moon, should it? That we were taught about. There's that object. And it's got that darker area there, and there's a purple line down there, and it's got an area on the back. I don't know how to enhance that. I just feel like it deserves more work. And there's the UFO. Here's the image there that I'm now trying to enhance. I'm going to take a guess. This is the clearest one I can get. Put it in photo a gallery and change. I think I have already produced the best results I can on this. I'll try it again, but in the meantime, these are the images of the UFO that I zoomed on high zoom again. So I think they could have come out these moon entrances, because that's where I'm seeing all those glows and colors and beautiful blue spheres popping up. Look at that. That's with the Sony camera. There's too much a glow happening on the surface of the moon. It seems as though it's come alive. It's actually blossomed. Look at that. That's a huge light blue sphere. So these are things I saw at 5 p.m. And I'll just go through these images again real quick. Do these two events add up somehow? That's my theory. So I'm just that's a great image as well. There's huge, beautiful structures in the crater big spheres, everything popping up. And again, things are floating around Sydney. There's that object parked there, that huge pink one. There are those objects coming out. Okay, that's enough.